After time away being around people you love so much, or experiencing time away from work and stress and real life, and just that, high feeling that you get sometimes, and then you have to come back to reality and you feel a little bit down or alone and like you need to readjust. And it's like, whoa, where did this feeling come from? Was not prepared for that. Welcome to Casually Spiraling with me, Julie Bishop, just a tall girl in this world trying to make sense of life, dating, money, relationships, identity, culture, all the things. I learned that my thoughts don't always land with the people around me, so I am here to break it all down, talk it out, probably overshare, and maybe find some who don't think I'm totally crazy after all. Hi, welcome back. Happy Thursday. How are we doing? How was your week? We are back again, like I promised. I had a pretty good week. I just feel like everyone's out of town right now. All my friends are out of town and I'm ready for them to be back. Okay, thank you very much. I don't want to be alone over here. But we are getting into summer now very much. We were in summer mode. It's now like mid-June. The vibes are summery and good, but you know what that means? That means we are back in the villa every night. Love Island mode, full Love Island mode. Every night we are excited for a hot new bombshell to enter the villa. And we got Love Island USA. We got the UK. It's all queued up and I love it. And I'm here for every moment of it. So let me know if you're listening and want to talk Love Island tea, because I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. But today I wanted to talk about something that I feel like comes up during the summer often. And I was kind of maybe going through it last week, and I was maybe going to talk about it last week, but I was in the middle of it. It felt a little too fresh, a little too close to home to sit down and talk about it at that time. I think I needed, I was too in the middle of it instead of being able to step outside of it and see it from the other side. So now we're here today, a little bit on the outside of it, but it still was just present with me last week. Still a little present, but we're working through it. And what that is withdrawal. Pretty much withdrawal after coming back from either a vacation or time with family and friends you don't get to see, whatever it may be. Not drugs, not withdrawal from this or that. But yeah, just after time away being around people you love so much, or experiencing time away from work and stress and real life. And just that, high feeling that you get sometimes, and then you have to come back to reality and you feel a little bit down or alone and like you need to readjust. And it's like, whoa, where did this feeling come from? Was not prepared for that. It's like feeling so high on life for a time period, and then it's just a major crash out, crash back when you get back to reality and the real world, and it can be a tough adjustment as a result of having something so good, or people so good, or such a good time, or good memory, something so great. But then the result after that can be a total come down, and it can be difficult to deal with, and it can be a lot of weird feelings, and it can be sadness. And you're like, hold on, I was just feeling so good. Where did this come from? I didn't want this. No, thank you. How do I deal with this? And maybe this comes up for those of us who have moved away from home and friends and family more often so, because then you are like going back away from that. But I think it comes up for everyone in some kind of way. And especially during the summertime when everyone's taking trips and taking time off work and going on vacations and this and that. So I feel like it can come up a lot during these months. It can come up all the year, all time of the year, but especially right now, more often. And I'm going through it. So I was like, let's talk about it. Does anyone else feel this way? Because please, not just me. Not just me. But for me, as someone who has moved away and is far away from family and some close friends, you don't get to be around those people often. And when you are around, it just feels so good and exciting. And then have to go all the way back for me across the country, excluded from that and isolated from that after having such a good experience. I think it comes up. It comes up in some ways and some emotions and some stresses in my mind once you have to go back away from that. And yeah, right now, people are taking breaks from their work and routine life. And yeah, readjusting back to that can be tough once you get a little taste of not having to deal with that and a break from that. Going back to it can be a real Melanie crush out if you're watching Love Island. Sometimes you just might need to take some 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. You know what I mean? I hope some of you watch. Otherwise, you won't know what that is at all. But yeah, anyway, you know that I was just at my sister's wedding. I talked about it a little bit last week. That's part of the reason why I had some time off from the podcast. And yeah, and I talked about how it was amazing. It was the best week, and it was a whole week of fun activities. It was a whole week of being surrounded by friends and family, and it was a whole week of good positive vibes surrounding this fun event that we've all been looking forward to for a year and a half, and then it just all comes to an end, and it's like, whoa. And it truly was one of the best weeks. And when I tell you, work and real life and stress did not cross my mind once during that week. It didn't. Sometimes you go away, but you're still like, oh, I have to get back to that, or I'm going to be going back to whatever when you go back. This week, nothing else crossed my mind. Nothing else. I slept like a fucking baby in my childhood bedroom with those blackout curtains. I slept like a baby. I didn't think about anything else whatsoever. And yeah, it was just such a relaxing and free week of not worrying about my life or what I'm doing with my life or my career or money or whatever it may be, literally anything else. It was just, yeah, a very free week surrounded by the best people. So you have to come back to reality, and for me, fly across the country back away from these people and this time. And it was a shock to the system for sure, going from such a high to back to work and figuring out my life and career and money. And it was a full week of constantly being surrounded by people, let alone like my favorite and closest people, to then waking up the next morning here completely alone and surrounded by no people, and a whole day of being alone. And that also was weird. Not that I don't love alone time every once in a while, but I don't like it all the time. And it was just a weird transition. And I was like, whoa, because also too, for me being the one that lives somewhere else and had to fly somewhere else, like they all still had plans with each other the next week. Versus I didn't have that, right? So it was a transition period for sure, and a shock. And like I said too, my friends also happened to be out of town. So I didn't even have many people here to make plans with when I got back, if that makes sense, versus if they were around and I could distract myself more. But no, it was just me and my thoughts during this withdrawal down period, which, you know, just alone with your thoughts can be a lot sometimes. I feel like I talked about this before, but I don't know. I usually always have like a podcast or music or listening to an interview or YouTube video or something, because I joke about how like even just with brushing my teeth, if it's just silent, then I'm just alone with my thoughts too much. And I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't for these 2 minutes brushing my teeth. I need something on to listen to. I can't just be here with my thoughts. It's too much. It's too much. We got too much going on up here. That's why I have this. That's why I have this outlet to get it all out, because otherwise, if I was like this in my brain all the time, I would explode probably. Something would go wrong. So yeah, it was a lot of time with my thoughts during this calm down period. And it was a bit sad, if I'm being honest. But don't worry, we're here to talk about it and get through it and figure out how to get through it. And hopefully this can help you if you go through these moments too. And I'll need this for my future as well, because I know I'm going to feel this again probably sometime soon. But yeah, it's just a very weird and down time and a feeling. And I think it's common, but it's just strange because I feel like in the moment, when I know I'm experiencing withdrawal, like I was naming it in the moment last week. I was like, oh, I'm in withdrawal right now. And I know it's going to pass, and I know it's just a moment. And I know that I'll get back into my routine and back into my schedule and back into my groove, and it'll pass and I won't feel that way anymore. But in the moment, it just feels so fucking depressing. And you're like, I'm sorry, what the fuck? I was just feeling so happy and now I'm feeling so sad. And why am I crying now? I was crying tears of joy at the wedding. And now I'm like, want to cry for no reason. And I'm not even on my period. So I can't even blame that, even though I always blame my period no matter what week of the month it is. Because I need something to blame if I'm just crying out of nowhere. And yeah, even though you know it's going to pass, I don't know, in the moment, it didn't seem to help. I was like, yeah, bitch, I know it's going to pass, but that doesn't help me right now because I'm in it right now. So hello, whatever. I tried making myself feel better, being like, oh, you'll be fine in a week or two or whatever. But no, it's still in the moment. It sucks. And it was feeling sad. And that is why too, I remember when I was in a long distance relationship, that was like the hardest part about it was the withdrawal, because you're going through such a roller coaster emotions. At least I was when I was in one, because it's like you leave them, right? No, you're about to see them again after not seeing them. And so you get so excited and you're on this high and you see them and it's happy, happy, happy. And then you leave them and you're in the withdrawal and it's just a crash down, a come down. It's so depressing and sad. And then you get back into your routine and you're like, good, yeah, you're all good. But then it comes back around and you know you're going to see them again. So then you go the other extreme and you're high and you're super, so excited and happy. And then they leave and you're like, depressed again. So it was so much up and down emotions. And it was hard to keep like a constant. So yeah, I remember that being really tough. And it's kind of like a similar thing of these highs and lows and the extremes instead of finding a steady and trying to stabilize at the moment. And it's not even like coming back to, where I live or going back to the country. And it's not even like I don't like my life here, because I love it. And I love living here and I love pursuing what I'm pursuing. So it's not even like the withdrawal only happens for people who hate their life, because I love my life and I still feel it and I still experience it. So like, I don't know. You can love your life or you can hate your life that you're coming back to, and I think still experience it, maybe experiencing withdrawal in different ways. But I love my life here, and yet I still had a come down period that I needed to get through, because it was just a huge change and a huge switch up, and it was just a huge reminder, and it's just a kick in the gut. And it's a reminder that, okay, you're an adult now and in your adult life, and life is different now. Because for a week, it felt like we were kids again, all living together and just running around like kids. And then when you go back, it's just a reminder, oh, okay, you're an adult now. There's other things going on. There's other responsibilities than just having fun, that you do unfortunately have. And just a reminder that you are away from those friends and family or whoever it may be that you went and got to see. So it's just a reminder that you're away from those people now. Obviously, you know that previously, but when you get to see them and experience it, it's just like extra lingering reminder that's there with you when you get back and you're like, all right, back to being an adult and back to, oh yeah, I can't just see them every day or a few times a week or this or that. If I want to see them, I have to buy a plane ticket and plan a whole thing, So it's just a bit of a reminder. But I think this even comes up withdrawal, even if you didn't see anyone new. Maybe you just took a vacation with the people that you do see all the time. And I think it still comes up with that, because even if it has nothing to do with people, it can just be the experience of taking time away from your day-to-day work and stress. If you just took a trip and you were just full relaxing, maybe all you did was lay on a beach for a week straight, it still can kick you in the butt when you get back, because you had a week straight of doing other things and not going to work and being stressed out, So it's not just revolved around people. I think it's revolved around the experience as well, and what you're thinking about and where your stresses lies, or not having every stresses all, and relaxing your body too. A week of not being tense or anxious or this or that, and then coming down from that after to your normal work day and normal life can be jarring to the system. And it definitely takes a little bit of a readjustment period, a reintegration back into your normal life. And it's a little bit of a grieving period as well. You gotta mourn a little bit this easier, more relaxing, full of life moment that you had. Not that maybe it's like not dead, but it is dead a little bit, you got to grieve it and move on a little bit from it. It was a time and you have those memories, but it's over now. And you gotta get back to reality. So it is a bit too of like a grieving mourning process. It kind of feels like, but so I think first, to identify, I think there's a few reasons why this crash out and this come down feels so intense. And I don't think it's necessarily, like I was saying, that your everyday life is so bad or horrible or that you hate it. I think just sometimes after a wedding or a vacation or a girls' trip or family time, whatever it may be, I think your brain just starts convincing you like, oh, maybe I should change my life. Maybe I should move home. Maybe my life isn't right. Am I doing the right thing? Am I lonely? Am I sad? Am I depressed? I think it starts to play tricks on you, like convincing you of these things that you're not, just because of during the come down process. And maybe you need to feel like you need to make some major change right now. And your brain just starts comparing this previous week or trip or weekend time that you had to what you have right now. But there's no way or smart reason to compare a week curated around joy and relaxation and connection and fun and celebration and memories to waking up the next day on just any random Tuesday where you're answering emails, taking phone calls, running errands, going to work, and catching back up on life. Like, who in their right mind should compare those two things and then base a decision off of that? Because you can't compare them, because they're both things that happen and they're just so different extremes. But like the random Tuesday where you're doing those things is necessary so that you can have the time away and other celebration time and relaxing and vacation time. But there's no sense in comparing those two types of days, because they're just so different and they're not the same. So whenever you do compare them, you're just going to lose. Reality is always going to lose. The Tuesday is always going to lose to the fun, celebration, vacation, relaxing, fun times. That's always going to win over just your mundane days. But we all have those mundane days, and we all have those catch-up days and just routine scheduled days. It's just a part of life. So I think your brain starts to compare those two things, and then you crash out and you're like, fuck, am I doing life wrong? Should every day be fun celebration, no stress, no work? Every single day? Am I doing something wrong with life? Do I need to make a major life decision right now? Probably not. But because no, not every day is going to be like that, you know? And if every day was like that, then it probably would feel a little less high than it did, because that would be your everyday. I think these special moments are special because they're not your everyday. They are your special moments and your memories. So I think sometimes we accidentally compare this highlight reel of life to the mundane maintenance days and phases of our life. And yeah, no regular Tuesday. And it was a Tuesday that I woke back up on alone after a week of being surrounded by people. That's never gonna win and beat the wedding weekend and my sister's wedding weekend and any of that ever. I think another reason that it feels so intense is because everyone's kind of leaving from this moment. And I think maybe this is especially for people in their 20s and 30s. Like I said, you kind of reverted back to being a kid. You spend a week back with your family and friends that you did maybe growing up with, or at least I did. Again, this isn't every scenario. Or maybe you spend a week on vacation, swimming in the ocean and whatever, paddleboarding and doing all these kind of kid-like activities that you always did when you were a kid, or you're spending time with people like you were a kid. And it was kind of, you felt that youth feeling again, and it felt like old times, and moments felt like old times, and you reverted back to that freedom and naive self of not having to worry about the problems of the world. So I think then it's very intense going back to your normal life after experiencing that. It's like you feel that, and then suddenly the whole thing breaks apart. Someone is flying back to a different part of the country or a different state. Everyone else is going back to work. Someone that was maybe away from their husband and kid goes back to that. Or I'm now back in my apartment alone. Like, it's just this union, or at least for me, it was a union of all these people. And then suddenly everyone's breaking apart and going their separate ways again. And you're like, wait, no, what happened? We had a good time. And now we're all going back. And it's a reminder we all do have our own separate lives now, which is different than when we were a kid. When you're a kid, it's like, oh, you're all in your own life together. And then you grow up and everyone starts their new life. So it was like a big, intense reminder, like, okay, we all have our own lives now. Things are different. Everyone is off doing different things, which is amazing. And life just isn't quite the same anymore. And that doesn't mean that life is bad now, because at least it's not for me right now. It can be amazing, but it's still that switch up that can be really tough on the mental, that extreme switch up feeling. It can take a bad bitch down sometimes, but even though these crash outs can feel so intense, or this withdrawal period can feel really intense and emotional and sad and whatever it may feel, there are ways to get out of this period. I think there's ways to at least help this period while you're getting out of it, So don't worry. I'm not only here for the crash out. I'm here to at least share what has helped me and what some things I try to do to make myself feel better during this period, so I'm not so fucking depressed, alone in my Love Island hole, wrapped in a blanket on a couch. Lights are dark all day long. You know what I mean? Okay, so number one way to help me get out of this period or feel better during this period, and that is plan things with your friends that are local, or your significant other if you have one and you're going back to them or you're with them. If you come back from a time away or a trip or whatever, back to your real life, if you have something planned to look forward to or that gets you out of the house, I think that helps a lot. Whether it can be something small like getting lunch with a friend, going to a happy hour, going out, having something that's exciting with your friends planned, or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever it may be, someone that you have that lives where you live. planned, or at least reach out to them when you get back and plan something. So you have something to look forward to. You have something that gives you an excuse to get dressed up and ready for and plan around and gets you out of the house. So you are not just coming back and sitting at home the entire week or for a few days or, the entire night, It gives you something to look forward to that takes you also out of your work and routine. So, you come back and you do have to do those things, maybe go to work, but then, you have right after work a happy hour that you're looking forward to, or, you come back and you have to get groceries and clean, and yeah, you do that, but then, oh, I'm doing this now, because then right after I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go meet up with whoever and catch up and tell them about my fun time and my trip and share the memories. It gets you out. So it's not just feeling like cold turkey, it's not feeling like the fun and the memories and the good times and surrounding yourself with the best people is all just stripped away from you, cold turkey. Nope, you don't get none of that anymore. We're addicted to that, and now you are cut off. Because no, that's not it. You still want to incorporate that in your everyday life. You just now have to also think about life and stress and all those other things, but you can still plan and get out and, still make fun memories in whatever way you can, wherever you live locally. Now, of course, like I said, my friends have been out of town, and we're out of town all at the same time. So fuck you, my friends. Just kidding. Love you. Can't wait for you to get back so I can try to make plans. Thank you. Okay, thanks. That's a message for you. No, but yeah, this kind of recreates, moments from what you loved from your trip or from your time away or your stress time or de-stress time. It takes moments from that into your everyday life and recreates it a little bit. So you're don't have to be so sad and depressed. It brings a piece of that back home with you, and you are reminded like, oh yeah, I can do some of these things too. Not that after my solo trip, I was really feeling sad or withdrawal. Maybe I would have been because I had such a good time and I was feeling so confident. But literally the night I got back is when I went out with all my friends here. So I was alone and on this little vacation. But when I was of course sad to leave it, but I was also so excited because I had plans that night. I was driving back and I'm like, oh, I'm going out to dinner with my girlfriend. And so it just prolonged, and I never had a come down. Well, I didn't from that trip specifically that week. It wasn't a come down period because I came straight off of that into plans with my friends here, so I think things like that help a little bit when you're coming back. Okay, so the second thing that I think helps during this period and trying to get out of this period is if you have the means and it is a possibility, maybe plan the next trip to see those people or the next vacation where you're away from your work or whatever it may be. Plan the next time, plan the next thing so that you have something to look forward to. Now, this isn't always possible and don't always have the means or whatever, but I think, knowing the next time you're either going to see those people or have a time off of work helps in the moment to get through the current time and has it to look forward to. Some things I'm looking forward to. I'm going to San Diego with some friends over the 4th of July, so that'll be fun. And then I'm going to see my family who I was just with the first week of August for our beach vacation to the Outer Banks that we would take every year growing up. So I have that. I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to feel like a kid again that week, and I'm going to be so happy to spend a whole week with them again. So it's going to come up soon, and it's going to come up fast. So if I can focus on, oh, I have that to look forward to, and I'm so excited for that, and I don't have to wait till Christmas to have a full week with them again and to see them again, then that definitely helps. And that's excited. And I'm even just smiling right now thinking about it, So if you have the means and are able to, even if it's a few months from now, it's not so soon, or it's 6 months from now, if you just call up one of those people and be like, hey, let's pick dates that may be free and plan this. Maybe you don't even buy any plane tickets or buy anything yet because you're still maybe recovering from expenses from what you were just on. Maybe just the idea, set a place, pick a month,
pick the people, like something, something to have in the works to get you excited for the next time. And so that too, like, I am going to have a future time where I'm off work and I'm not as stressed, or a future time where I am going to see those people again instead of never knowing. Not this is all about relationships, but I think that's also smart if you are in a long distance relationship, that each time you leave the person, the next time you're going to see each other. So there's never an unknown of, oh my God, when are we going to see each other again? It could be months. It could be this or that, I just think it's always fun and smart to have the next thing in the book or the next idea in your mind and in the books a little bit, maybe penciled in. It doesn't have to be penned in, but yeah, that has definitely helped me a little bit. Okay, so number 3, I think that is helpful when coming down from this withdrawal period is, or maybe it's a reminder and it's helpful for your future life, but don't make major life decisions in a crash out. I think it helps to put off big changes, big decisions until, you're feeling a little bit better. And maybe until like the major stresses you have currently are, put those off a little bit until the next week. Put off big decisions and maybe put off the huge stresses for the following week. I think you do need a readjustment week when you come back. So when you come back from your time away or whatever it may be, maybe give yourself a week to do the major things that may be on your mind. Give yourself a week to readjust. Give yourself a week to get back into routine. Do the little things like, running errands and catching up. But if you are super stressed about making a big career change or a big life change, maybe give it a few days, give it a week, because you may just be feeling really sad and withdrawal, and who knows what decisions will come out of that, So I think put it off a little bit, and I think that relieves some of the stress, because if I'm on a vacation or trip or whatever it may be, celebrating something, and I know right when I get back, I have to make a huge decision or change that is scary and stressful, then that's a lot to come back to. That's a lot to put in your face and put in your plate right away to come back to. So I think, just give yourself a week, let yourself come down a little bit, clear your mind, because I know my mind just gets muddled. I came back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. When am I ever going to be successful? I swear it's not going to happen. I don't work hard enough. I'm not talented enough. Look at all these people in a different spot than I am. I'm not there yet. I'm getting so old. I'm almost 30. I'm not going to make it. I'm never going to have enough money for this or that. As you can tell, all these real thoughts have come to my mind. Yes, I've gone through that. Yes. And during that withdrawal period, those thoughts really come at you and are strong and can make you feel like shit and a lot more shit. So, I think it's give yourself a week to calm down, give yourself a week for the come down, and then we can tackle the hard stuff next week. Let's tackle the mundane, little easy things to do on the to-do list to check off. Get back into your routine. You got so out of your routine. Give yourself a week to get back to going to the gym or waking up at a certain time or whatever it may be. In a daily normal routine. Give yourself a readjustment week to get back to that, get on track, and then start adding in the bigger things. So you're not just thrown all at once after this high with the major, big, hard things all at once. Ease yourself into it. Give yourself that time. Don't shit on yourself for giving yourself that time either. I think you need to be stabilized. You need to be settled back in, and this can help. And don't shit on yourself like I have sometimes, okay? Do as I say, not as I do. Because I have definitely put a million things on my plate and expectations on myself in those first few days, and it's just not realistic. It's not. And it just stresses me out. So, and I think too, in that first week, your feelings aren't real. Feelings aren't facts, okay? You have all these sad, depressing feelings. That doesn't mean they're real. It means you're, in this withdrawal, you're in this come down, you're in this stabilization, that's not a word, stabilizing period, So your feelings are strong and heavy, but they're not facts. They're not real. In a week, you're going to be feeling so different. And you'll be like, I feel so silly for feeling that way. Like, why was I emo sad girl? But that wasn't real. You were just going through a lot and a lot of changes and you're stabilizing. So the feelings aren't facts during that first week. Everything can feel so dramatic for a week and like, oh my God, what is happening in my life? This and that. You'll feel so dramatic. You want to quit your job and change your life completely. Just don't do anything yet. Give yourself that time. No walking into the office that first week back and being like, hey, Dan, I quit. I don't want to be here anymore. I am done. It's over. Have a good life. Don't do that. Maybe do that the second week, but give yourself the first week to readjust, clear your mind a little bit. All right. Thank you. Okay. Number 4 that has helped me a little bit is remembering that the sadness and grief and withdrawal is proof that you have amazing things in your life. It is proof that you have amazing people. You have amazing opportunities in your life. How lucky am I that I have such great people and experiences that make it so hard to leave, that make it so hard to come back from. And I am able to go to these places and have these experiences that makes me miss them. I'm really fucking lucky, the fucking fact that I have a job that I can take off work for a week. I have opportunities that I can fly across the country. I have people that love me so much and that I love so much. And I feel like a kid around and I feel like myself around and I feel so free around that when I'm with them, I don't think about anything else. What? That's awesome. That is so fucking cool. So trying to remind yourself that you're feeling so sad right now because of how lucky and how great that was, or you're feeling so sad because you had such an amazing and recentering, de-stressing time. So even though it sucks in the moment, if you remember that it comes from a good thing, it comes from an amazing thing and good things that you have in your life. If nobody mattered to you, if the trip wasn't meaningful, if whatever it may be, retreat, vacation, if it wasn't a good time, if it wasn't relaxing, if it wasn't so special, if the memories weren't there and weren't so special, then there wouldn't be a crash. You would be excited to leave. You'll be like, bye, I want to go back to work. I want to go back to my regular routine life. No, if it wasn't so great, you wouldn't be sad to leave. So you're only sad to leave and sad to come back because it was so good and you had so many good things happen for you and you had such a great experience and you were around the best people that are in your life and you get to have those people in your life. So, it just is reorganizes the feelings, reroutes them into I'm so fucking lucky and that's so exciting that I have that and I have those opportunities and I have those people and I'm able to do that because not everyone has those people. Not everyone has that relationship with their family or whoever or is able to, go and do those things. So it's a little reframing if you can. Now I reframe it and I recognize that and I'm grateful for that. And I still had that withdrawal period. I still was feeling a little bit sad, but it helped me get through those moments and it helped me, I think, come out of it faster and just be excited about life again when I was coming back and I wasn't excited about life anymore. You know what I mean? I think that every time I go through one of these withdrawal periods, I forget that I've survived a bunch of them before and I've come out on the other side every single time before. I think this one always just feels so different. It always just feels like, I hate this. When am I going to get through this? Am I going to feel excited and happy again and this or that? But then a week later, I'm back. I'm back in my routine. I am back feeling positive. I'm back laughing. I'm back with friends. I'm back obsessed with Love Island. I am back. worried maybe. I'm worried about maybe completely different things that I thought I would be worried about when I was crashing out, you know? Every time I come back and it's going to be okay. And you get through it. It's just in the moment, it's so hard to see the other side. And that's why I couldn't record this last week, because I don't think I would have all these, outtakes from it and these thoughts about it. And if I recorded this episode last week, it would have just been me here probably crying, because I was very emotional during that time and being like, and who wants to fucking hear me whine? I mean, I kind of whine a lot on this podcast, but whatever. At least I came out on the other side and had some positives to share, to get through it. So you get through it, even though it doesn't feel like in the moment, it always feels like the most dramatic one, just because I love being dramatic. So I'm like, let me try and top myself last time. But the crash isn't a sign that your real life is wrong or bad. Sometimes it's just the emotional hangover from something really, really great and amazing that happened and that you experienced, or the people you're around. Your life isn't wrong. You're just recovering. You're just restabilizing. And honestly, that's probably one of the best problems to have. If that is the worst thing, then hey, give it to me. Give it to me, because it comes out of such an amazing time, experience, and people. And think about life. So that is what I got to say on that. Let me know if you experience these periods, this withdrawal too. Because I don't know. I've never really talked about it with someone before, but I was going through it and I was like, this fucking sucks right now. So let me talk about it, and let me know if you go through these periods too, because I don't know, it feels kind of alone sometimes and dramatic and sad, but you get through it and you get back on the other side and you restabilize. So maybe that's why people don't talk about it so much, because you recenter and you get through it. But I don't know. Let me know. It can suck, but it's a result of amazing things. So yay, we love that. Let me know what you think. That's all I have for you this week. I will talk to you next week. Love you lots. I'm obsessed with you. And love ya. See you next week. Mwah.